What's up, friends? Welcome back to KimmyDTV, tips and tricks living your best life. In this video, I'm going to be talking about whether a new grad nurse can work as a home health LPN. Now, the reason why I'm making that video is because I see sometimes a lot of people come and ask me, well, you know, I just graduated, or they're in school, or they're thinking about going to school, and they're like, well, they want to be a nurse, and when they graduate they're afraid of going to long-term care, because that's usually where LPNs get pushed into, long-term care, a lot of times, because it's honestly it's the easiest job you can find wherever you are, over state. Long-term care, they always need people in long-term care, but it's also very taxing on you. There's always a lot of work to do, there's always a lot of patience. Like, you guys could watch my previous videos when I go into more detail with that. But a lot of people are interested in home care, especially after the video I made about why I love home care. I see a lot of people like that video. It's a hit. Thank you so much for watching, by the way. But a lot of people are sometimes afraid to do home care because they think they're going to be alone and stuff like that. So I'm just going to make this video of what I think, what I believe, as whether or not a new grad nurse should work home care. First thing that they wonder is, hey, I would like to be a home care nurse because I don't want to be on my feet for 8 hours or whatever. So in a nutshell, can you work home care as a nurse? Would I advise it? Yes. Okay, in a broad that's the most general answer I could say. Yes, it is possible. And I was reading this article, this post on allnurses.com. This video is not sponsored by allnurses.com. I have been using allnurses.com since I was in nursing school, and I always encourage people to go to allnurses.com because it's like a forum. It's almost like a blog where people write about their different experiences, whether it's nursing school, whatever. But it's not a commercial for allnurses.com. But I saw a forum for allnurses.com, and somebody was asking whether they could work home care. Now, I know in my other videos I said that, you know, with home care you have to know what you're doing as a nurse, and I do believe that, because when you're in home care, you're the only person, you're the only nurse, there's nobody you can really lean on. Now, I do still believe that if you are a new grad, you can go to the home care field. Let me explain to you why. So the home care nurses, the home care cases that I got were very, very simple. I'm not going to lie. The patients that I received, the pediatric patients I received, were the most complicated I got was a 13-month-old, because of course the patient was 13 months. They were a baby. Okay, the most complicated cases I had was a baby with a trach and a G-tube. Okay, so I didn't really, even though I worked with vents in the past, when I worked in the rehab unit, I didn't really have to work with any pediatric patients who weren't in vent. Now, I was offered those cases, I could have took those cases, but I decided, you know, since it was my first time doing home care, and even though I have all this experience, I wanted to ease my way into it. So honestly, my first case was a trach and a G-tube, and a J-tube as well. And then my other consecutive cases, my other cases were just G-tube, basically. Yeah, just G-tube. And my one patient, they had a G-tube, and they also ate by mouth. Okay, so those were pretty simple cases, and I'm not saying that simple cases cannot go haywire. So some nurses, like, I feel like some people come with a what's that thing called, with a pitchfork and ready to attack, or like, no, what are you saying? You know, I'm, like I said, all my advice that I'm saying, like, it's relative, you know, it's relative to each person's individual, your personality, what you think you're willing to do or whatever. But that's my advice. I think get into a simple case and get into an agency that is willing to train you. Okay, so the agency I worked for, I'm not going to give the name of it. Some of you guys know from my vlogs, like if you guys live in the New York area, where the agency was. But the agency I worked for didn't really honestly give a lot of training. It was just like 1 day of orientation. But go with an agency that is willing to train you. So I can say the name of it, but when I was working in Houston, right before I was about to leave, I was about to work with this agency. And they gave me a lot of training, okay? They didn't just put me out on the job. Basically I had to complete a lot of modules that took hours to complete, and it was about like vents, how to take for vents, like it was basically computerized. And also they had me come in physically to the office and get training on vents, get training on trach, get training on a lot of stuff. So they wanted me to be thoroughly trained, okay? They said, okay, yeah, the first day will be with you. So I would suggest go with an agency that will thoroughly train you, meaning they train you on the computer. Like sometimes you go through modules, and also they train you on the spot, you know, because sometimes even if you look at something on YouTube, that's not really proper training. But if an agency tells you, okay, come in and they will train you, that's awesome. And sometimes agencies will have you shadow a nurse, okay? Some agencies are like the agency I worked for, like they weren't really fond of shadowing. Okay, they could allow it, I guess, but they weren't really too fond of shadowing. But that Maxim Healthcare in Houston, they were very fond, and this is not a commercial for Maxim, but I like them. They were very professional, okay? And they said, okay, yeah, you could shadow a nurse if you want to RN there on the first day, like maybe to help you. They were there. So that's what I liked about Maxim Healthcare. They were really helpful, okay? I'm not going to badmouth the company. That's why I'm not giving the company I work for now. But Maxim Healthcare was very nice, and they really helped me. For people who are just starting home care, is that like know the family's preferences, know who the physical therapist. You're gonna meet so many people: the physical therapist, the occupational therapist, whoever's coming to see the patient. You're gonna meet them, you're gonna know who the patient is, you're gonna know their style and everything. But it's really not that scary, you know, guys. The only downside to home care is that some agencies like mine were so inconsistent with their shifts, inconsistent with this, inconsistent with that. It's just like inconsistency all around, and like it's not too stable sometimes. Especially if the patient is going to the hospital, having surgery or whatever, it's not too consistent for the nursing side. And also like you spend a lot of time with the family member. I think that's one of the biggest cons I could say, is that you spend a lot of time with the family member, but it's home care, you know. And if you're a brand new nurse, honestly, I kind of wish that I would have went to home care when I first started nursing, because I felt like I needed to be eased into it. Like if you take a brand new nurse and you put him or her in a long-term care facility, like it's, you know, the turnover rate is pretty high, you know. Like you could scare somebody out of nursing with long-term care, you know. But someone like me, like I have a lot of experience in many different facilities. I'm not really afraid of long-term care, but that's why I would definitely suggest home care for somebody who's just starting nursing, just so that you won't be scared away, okay? Because it's not that bad, you know. So but yeah, that's my opinion on whether you can work home care as a brand new nurse. Yes, I do believe it's possible. Just choose the right agency and choose the right case. All right, see you guys. Bye.